Welcome to the Spoiler Zone. This week we are doing 3 movies: Anonymous, In Time, and A Very Harold Kumar 3D Christmas. Stick around, you just might learn something. Spoilers. I'm just going to be kind of rattling off a few things here. I think what I'm going to do with the Spoiler Zone series is go one episode every 2 weeks. Because maybe I was doing a little too many. There was not a lot of interest in it, and I realize that some of you do want me to keep it, so I'm just going to cut back a little bit. A lot of you do know that I was doing a video game review last week. I've got another one coming out for Batman Arkham City. So, I'm going to try to keep this brief here. First of all, Anonymous. Not a lot that I disliked about this movie. It was really well done. Loved the art direction, costumes, the acting was fine. A little bit of trouble is that it cut around too much. It couldn't pick a timeline and go with it. So, we actually saw a guy get arrested at near the beginning, because actually the real beginning's in like Broadway. They take us back to tell the tale. This guy's getting arrested, and then later on they flash back 5 years earlier, and he's getting arrested yet again. Then we see him getting released from prison. We kind of like, at what point did he get released? And that's sort of the problem that sits throughout the movie, is that it cuts around, sometimes jumping back several decades without much of a hint about it. You just have to kind of get familiar with the characters, and luckily it's long enough that I felt, hey, that's that guy when he's young. There he is when he's old. Like, I kind of got an understanding of who was doing what, when. So, I mean, especially at first, because some of the actors look a lot alike. I was like, so is that the Earl of Oxford, or the other guy who I guess is actually his son / brother? Anyways, moving along to In Time. Yeah, this movie really sucked. Like, even more than I thought. There's so many inconsistencies beyond everything that I brought up in my review. For example, there's a part where Timberlake and Amanda, they run off in this vintage Jaguar car. And she's like, I'm not giving you any of my time. And they got these time zones they have to go through. And I'm like, okay, he's got like almost no time left. She's not giving him any time. How are they getting through these time zones? Didn't they have to go through like a rash of time zones to get back to his old digs anyways? And that doesn't make any sense at all. And actually the movie would have been more compelling had it focused on the Alex Pettyfer group, oddly enough. And like, you really get an idea of how much confidence a director has in someone like Kellen Lutz, however you pronounce his name, when he's given one line in the movie. And he's known for the Twilight series, where he has like less lines than Taylor Lautner. So, yeah, you can really get a good idea of how good his new movie Battleship is going to be. But anyways, focusing on that group, the hoodlums who go around taking time from people, that's a little bit more compelling than focusing on the everyday man who has to challenge the system by not actually challenging the system, by looting it. It doesn't make much sense. The entire movie is full of nonsense. Like this ridiculous fighting, they call it. And it's like, well, I let him take my time, and then when he's not looking, I switch it over. And like, who would engage in this? Like, if I'm losing out, I pull away. It's that simple. Stupid movie. It makes me like so much more thankful for A Very Harold Kumar 3D Christmas. Way better than Escaping Guantanamo Bay, because that movie, they're in Guantanamo Bay for all of a minute at most, and then they're gone. And there wasn't anything to enjoy about that film at all, except for Robert Corddry. He's got this rogue FBI or Homeland Security agent or something chasing him, and he was an interesting character, but other than that, not a lot. So actually, you do get a rare upgrade in the third installment here with A Very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas. Some complaints though, the humor, especially after you've seen one of the movies, you know where all the humor is going to go. It's going to be, there's a weed joke, there's a sex joke. That's the jokes. I'm just glad that there's not a lot of race jokes, because any movie that focuses on minority characters is very susceptible to being like, oh, it's so hard to be Asian all movie long. And it's really not like that. So I do have to tip a hat to Harold and Kumar for that much. I also thought there were some weird things. Neil Patrick Harris, he doesn't need to be in the movie. Like, he does not provide them the Christmas tree that they end up using. So there's a lot of little baby steps taking to get to the big, the ultimate outcome of the film, and many of them are not needed. So that's a little upsetting as far as screenwriting goes. I also thought that they deal with this mobster, and I think they say he's from Ukraine, and that really gets out of the picture quick. Like, they take some drugs on accident, and then they hallucinate, and they become clay-mated. They run around, and there's a giant snowman chasing them. And was that supposed to be the Ukraine guy? Like, what was that supposed to represent? Because, like, we later find them, like, they were messing with, like, a squirrel or something, and it was actually a homeless guy, or a kid or something. And, like, so what was chasing them? Like, something had to be chasing them in order for that that sort of metaphor to work, because the other one we saw actually was represented in the reality of the movie. I know that it's not a movie known for realism. There's a lot of surreal moments. Like, we even have the kid who took all the coke and was running across on the ceiling. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't super funny or nothing, but it's Harold and Kumar, A Very 3D Christmas. At the very least, it's one of the better 3D movies for making a point to consistently spoof 3D-ness. So you got guys, it's awesome, and all this stuff, pointing, looking at the camera, and then, like, Harold's like, who are you talking to? Little things like that. And I also appreciate anytime 3D goes into slow motion, as seen in Resident Evil Afterlife. When things go into slow motion in 3D, the audience has a chance to get back and, like, wow, you know, that looks really cool. You need some time to observe 3D. It doesn't lend itself well to quick cutting that you see in action movie like Michael Bay's Transformers. The 3D stuff's like, really, what am I looking at? In this case, they make it a point to do like the Matrix bullet time kind of stuff, even if it comes down to that. And that allows you to enjoy the 3D. That's really about all I gotta say. Yeah, I've got another game review coming out. I've got a special celebrity cameo. Do please check out my podcast, Hottie and the Jerk. We've got a new installment every late Saturday night, because we record Saturday night. So that's where I'm talking about things like Terra Nova, maybe. Actually, last episode haven't been talking about it in a little while. But definitely Walking Dead, a lot of other shows. So subscribe on iTunes. I'm going to put links all over the place, but I don't want you guys to have to watch this to be reminded that I have a podcast, okay? So please check out the site, subscribe, all that stuff. See you later.